Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Stan was nice enough to join us today, and he's got a bunch of great information here, so I'd love to just jump right in.
All right, should we jump into stats or how to succeed in the market?
Well, let's jump into, the biggest stat right now is, to me, it looks like that 2015, we've got more closed sales than any year since 2008.
Okay, say that again, because a lot of people don't understand that, because they think, oh, the real estate market hasn't come back, but we're pretty strong right now.
Yes, 2015, more closed sales than any year since 2008. So
That's
yeah, that's taken 7 years to get back up to the volume that we had in '08.
But that's still very, very good, because if you consider the fact, and I know we're talking a little bit more about this later, is that we're in a restricted market because we don't have enough inventory. So,
right.
So the argument would be that if we had more inventory, that volume would actually be higher than it was even then.
Yeah, and up until very recently, there have been more pending sales than active listings on the market. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we just passed the pending sales with the number of active listings that are available out there right now.
So my argument to that, and Don and I were talking a little bit about that earlier, is, as a parent, I've been distracted for the last 2 weeks, right? I had to sneak in my last vacation before the kids went to school. Maybe I took them out of school one day I shouldn't have, but I had to sneak that in, and I had to get them back to school. So these last 2 weeks, I don't think home buying is a priority in those that are getting their kids back to school.
Right, and for a lot of people that's the case, but you've got people that either are in the position, they're either selling for a reason most of the time, or they're buying for a real reason most of the time, and they do it when they do it, whether it's now, whether it's over the holidays. There are still motivated people out there that need to get it done. So if they're really engaged and they've got to get it done, they're still out there, to me. So
no, that's a good point.
Yeah, it is, because a lot of you out there think, well, it's the buying time is only, basically spring and summer, but that's not true. Actually, some of our busiest months are after everybody settles into school, and they still, like you said, good word you use, Stan. And again, we're here with Stan Roy with Intero Real Estate Services, long-time professional out here, real estate professional, sitting here with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your fine Saturday. And is a need to sell because they need a bigger home, a need because they want to get their dream home finally. They want that pool. They want the different school district. They want the extra room and so forth. So there are a lot of needs out there. And now there's some equity positions where they can do that. Am I right?
Definitely. Yeah. And, whether you're going bigger or you're going down, it's easier both ways, because for some people that are going to be downsizing out of a bigger house into maybe a one-story or a townhouse or something like that, when they get to that point, then that frees up that larger property that somebody else is going to be wanting to grow into.
It's interesting you bring that up, because I think this is the first time in my career, maybe you guys have seen something different, but this is the first time in my career that I see so many move-down buyers, so many people that are downsizing, so many people that are planning for retirement, getting reverse mortgages. We're starting to see a completely different dynamic as the baby boomers retire now.
Yeah. And, there are people that have been in some of these bigger houses for 15 or 20 years now in the area, and they've got, they've seen some really good appreciation, even with what we've experienced. And now the market's back for a lot of sellers that they're more comfortable downsizing now, getting something smaller, if they can take advantage of you guys both know about Proposition 60 and 90, depending if they're staying in the area or moving out of the area.
Why don't you real quick explain that real quick?
Proposition 60 is the intra-county proposition that allows you to transfer one time in your life, when you're over 55, your base property tax to a property of equal or lesser value.
Nicely done. I'm impressed. That's good. Stan knows the exact. That's why I'm like, go for it. A lot of real estate professionals don't know this and don't help.
It's amazing, and I door knock and I'm out on the streets a fair amount because I like to meet people face to face. I've talked to people that have missed out. Missed out on being able to do that because nobody set them up and prepared them to do it.
Yeah, I just looked at one where they're paying $1,100 in property taxes now. Property they would have bought would have been more like $5,500. That's huge
it's insane.
Savings.
That's huge money.
But if nobody told them about that, and they didn't know, they're like, what? I can transfer these property taxes to the new home as long as we're buying, because they're buying down.
What I'm already doing, and obviously they hadn't made that move because of the property taxes, that's just what they intended to do.
Right.
And that was a side benefit, let alone for people that know about it and know how much money they can save, and they can maybe sock away some of that equity or do something with that money.
No doubt. And I mean, a lot of times they're downsizing, one, because they don't need the bigger house, but two, sometimes it's to lower their expenses.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point where they're no longer working full time, or they're just getting Social Security income or a pension. It's time to downsize.
And we've talked about that. The overhead that someone carries in a certain era of their life, they no longer want to carry that overhead. Or we have a client right now that's working really hard, had to work the property physically really hard because a lot of acreage. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore, and it's
76.
way too
He's like,
expensive
no
to
way.
hire somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he even wrote in his letter, when I was 55, this wasn't a problem.
Yeah, some of those bigger properties are a full-time or a solid part-time job just to maintain the grounds and everything you got to do with that.
Okay, so you're here with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., we share with you what you need to know, want to know about real estate and finance, and we have a great rest of the show. We're here with Stan Roy with Intero Real Estate Services, and we're now going to, when we come back, don't go away, because Stan's going to share some unique strategies of how to be successful in this market, because there are things you need to know about, and if your professional doesn't share with them, then you're not going to be successful. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.